honesty, I'm really surprised that I did not make this video and post it within like 30 minutes of this news being announced, but I was busy watching the Olympics. Shout out to you, Team USA, for winning the women's team gold and being awesome and beating the field by 8 points. And also shout out to Simone Biles for winning the all-around by 2 points, and for Allie Raceman for winning silver and coming back after 4 years after missing that bronze medal due to that stupid tiebreaker rule. Yes, I am in full Olympics mode. I am so pumped. I still love the women's gymnastics team. They are my heroes, and they're all, even though they're all younger than me, except I think Allie. But anyways, that doesn't matter. Point is, I've been in Olympic mode, and that's why I haven't gotten this video to you sooner. All my friends have been like Facebook messaging me like, why haven't you talked about this sooner? I'm like, because I'm in Olympics mode. But now the gymnastics is on break for a couple days, so we can talk about the arguably the biggest news happening in my world, at least. Those of you who know me, those of you who have started following me within like the past 2 or 3 years or so, you'll probably know that like as of right now, the How to Train Your Dragon fandom or the franchise is like my #1 all-time love. Can't wait for season 4 of Race to the Edge. Can't wait for the 3rd movie to come out, even though it's gonna make me cry. But if any of you followed me or knew me in middle school, possibly high school, which should be very little of you unless I actually know you because I didn't have social media until I was about 17, you'll know my very first fandom love is the Narnia franchise, or the Narnia series, the Narnia books. Just to prove how big of a fan I am, I have a litany of things over here. So this is, I have 2 box sets of the books. This one is actually technically my mom's. It's from the 80s. It's the Collier edition. It's very old, and it's the original publication order. So it starts with Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is the order you should read them, by the way. And I also have this box set, which I showed off in a video I made a couple years ago about book recommendations. And if you look closely, yes, you can see that it is technically published in chronological order, but I have redirected the order according to law, and it is law in my eyes. I have, what else? The entire trilogy. We'll get to that in a second, including The Abomination, that is the 3rd one, but you know, completeness. This is like special editions, the 4-disc edition of the first movie. I have Biography of C.S. Lewis, Analytic Look Inside Prince Caspian, and the making of book for the Prince Caspian movie, which basically made me want to be a filmmaker. That being said, I'm such a big fan, you'll probably know what news got announced this week that has me making this video if you haven't already read the title. I gotta put my hair up, it's way too freaking hot. And I'm so sorry that the fan is going right now, but it's like 90 freaking degrees and I cannot afford to turn it off, and I should wear a t-shirt, but oh well. So basically, what happened this week, let me pull up the press release for you. You'll know there are 3 Narnia movies, came out in 2005, 2008, 2010. Voyage of the Dawn Treader was a critical failure, as it should have been. It was awful, and didn't do too well at the box office. I believe it had a budget of 150 million, made like 20 its opening weekend, which is not good. And we have been, the Disney gave up the rights to the franchise, Fox picks it up, they failed at it. Now Walden doesn't have the rights to the franchise anymore. So we've been kind of waiting on the sidelines and exploring other things, and we've kind of been on the quiet for the last like 6 years or so. That is, until a couple of years ago, we heard a couple rumblings that maybe they could do another one. Maybe it would be Magician's Nephew, maybe it would be Silverchair, we just didn't know. And then about a year ago or so, we got word that Life of Pi screenwriter David McGee, who's fantastic by the way, I think he won an Oscar, I'll make an annotation if I'm wrong, amazing screenwriter, was sort of in the process of working on a script for Silverchair. And then Tuesday, I'm putting up this video today, we got probably the best news that this fandom has had in the last like decade, and that is that, and I'm gonna read the press release for you, on Narnia.com, and I'm going to link it below. The Chronicles of Narnia will receive new life on screen as TriStar Pictures, the literary focus label, has teamed with the Mark Gordon Company, the C.S. Lewis Company, and Entertainment One, E1, to continue the Narnia story in theaters with the silver chair. The picture will be financed by TriStar, E1, and the Mark Gordon Company, with Sony and E1 distributing the picture. The Mark Gordon Company and the C.S. Lewis Company are jointly developing and producing the film, adapted by David McGee, the two-time Oscar-nominated screenwriter, A Life of Pi and Finding Neverland, so he didn't win. Mark Gordon and C.S. Lewis' stepson, Douglas Gresham, Vincent Siebert and Melvin Adams serve as producers. With the move, the franchise, which has taken in nearly $1.6 billion at the worldwide box office, received a new creative team that will tackle the continuing story with a fresh approach to capture a broad global audience. Blah, 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 blah. Their new cast members, new everything. So basically, we're getting a fourth movie. We're getting a fourth movie! This is so weird for me, because I have such a history with this franchise. My mom read it to me when I was 8 years old, back in like 2003, 2004. I watched the BBC productions, which are a bit dated now, but great. About that time, my dad took me and my siblings to see The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in theaters. Funny story, I actually thought I walked into the wrong movie when I first saw it, because when you read the book, you think of like snow and everything, but the movie started out with planes, and I'm like, did we see the wrong movie? And then 2.5 years later, Prince Caspian came out. That was it. I fell in love with this franchise. I fell in love with the filmmaking world. I made a video last year about like the films that inspired me to make movies, and that franchise is, along with the Dragons franchise, is the franchise that made me realize that this is what I want to do for a living. And so I owe so much to the people behind this franchise. Quick side note, first celebrity crush came from Prince Caspian. Love you, Ben Barnes, follow you on Twitter. But Jesus Christ, I'm so excited. It's a good day to be a Narnia fan. This is a franchise that started out really strong, and it went well with the second one, which I thought was better. And then it kind of floundered with the third one, and I just keep thinking, I honestly hate that movie. I didn't mind it too much when I saw it, and then I watched it again, and I'm like, this is just not on the level that the first two movies set for this series. It did not feel like it was in the same universe, and a lot of that is probably due to creative team change. And for the longest time, I was just really upset that the franchise had kind of crashed and burned with that, because it didn't deserve to. There are 7 wonderful, wonderful books, and four of which hadn't been adapted. Silver Chair, of course, is the next one, and it's the next one, publication order, chronologically as well. It features Eustace, the cousin that was introduced in Voyage of the Dawn Treader, as well as Aslan, and those are the only 2 parts that I think would need to be returning for Silver Chair. And they would probably have to recast Eustace. I love Will Poulter, and I have no doubt that he would want to come back to this role, but the fact is, he's in his 20s now. He's just too old to play the part. Sad, because he was one of the redeeming qualities of Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Here's what I hope for this 4th movie. This is the 3rd production company that is taking control of this franchise. As far as I'm concerned, do I think it needs to have as big of a budget as the previous 3 in order to fit in with the previous 3? Because they're styling it as a reboot, but it is really a sequel. It's a reboot in the same vein that Star Wars The Force Awakens is a reboot. It's a reboot of the franchise, but it's still continuing the same story. To a lesser extent, the new Star Trek movies kind of... anyways. But I'm very excited. I'm happy that they went with Silver Chair as opposed to Magician's Nephew. I think that this is a far less confusing move. It does come chronologically after Voyage of the Dawn Treader, for those of you who are, chronological purists of the book series and prefer to read it in that order. But I'm really excited. I think that Silver Chair has one of the best female protagonists in the entire series in Jill Pole, who is, I think, the main character of the book. I think Eustace is kind of sort of a secondary character, which is weird because she is the first non-Pevensey related person or human at this point to enter the world of Narnia, and I just remember Silver Chair, I think was one of my favorite ones. Here's what, again, hopes. I don't think it needs to have as big of a budget as the previous films to fit in with them, because the first three were the big, like, you know, we need to have a battle at the end of these, and this is blah blah blah. Silver Chair is a very much more personal and self-contained story. I don't think there's a huge battle at the end. The struggle at the end, I think, is very much more small scale. So I think this is the perfect film to reboot the franchise with. It's in the middle of the series. After this, chronologically, it doesn't really, casting-wise anyways, wouldn't be such a big deal, because next is Horse and His Boy, wherein the Pevensies have been reigning. This takes place within the last chapter of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, when the Pevensey children, adults I guess now, are ruling Narnia. And what a wonderful opportunity, because by the time Horse and His Boy comes out, should that get made, Silver Chair, it was announced this year. At the earliest, we'll probably see it maybe December 2019, probably more like 2020. Oh my god, I'll be 25. But I'm happy. I hope that they stay true to the heart of the book for Silver Chair. I'm so happy. It's not very often that things like this can get rebooted quite like this. I'm just so happy to see that this series, these wonderful stories that C.S. Lewis wrote, are going to get a second life on screen. I'm so excited that we have a chance to really see this through to completion, and in my opinion, I would like to see the whole series get made. I think it would be quite difficult to do Magician's Nephew and Last Battle toward the end. Those are very complicated books, especially Last Battle. I'm someone who prefers, I know that there are religious undertones in the books. I prefer to think of them more in a secular light, or that's how I choose to read them, and they are readable that way. I'm just saying, this is a book series that can appeal to people who are Christian and who aren't. But I prefer to read them more in a secular light. That is pretty easy to do with all of them, except for those last two. There are more religious undertones, I think, which might turn a few people off. And Last Battle in particular is, if they do it and they do it well on screen, and if they get the chance to do it well on screen, I will consider that a victory. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, one last thing. This franchise does not need any more Tilda Swinton. I'm sorry, they shoehorned into Voyage of the Dawn Treader. They sort of shoehorned her into Prince Caspian. It worked for me, but it's totally shoehorned in. I don't need any, like, crap like the Green Mist or the big giant sea serpent. Ugh. One of these days I'll have to do, like, a watch/reaction to Voyage of the Dawn Treader, because I hate that movie with a passion. Mostly because it killed the franchise that didn't deserve to be killed, but now it's being revived again, so it's sort of okay. Anyways, will I edit this? This is definitely going up on my second channel. No questions asked. I don't have time to edit this. I have to put this out. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be excited about something for once. You know? It's fun. It's fun. Anyways, I am working on something, by the way, for my main channel this week. It's not going to be the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe review like I promised it would be, because, well, I mean, this happened. That's weird. That's also the weird thing, because I was strangely in this Narnia kick in the last week. Like, I was just like, I'll sit down, I'll watch Prince Caspian with the commentary, and then I've been listening to the scores for the first two movies for like the last week and a half or so, and just lamenting the fact that we weren't going to get another movie, and surprise, we're getting another movie. this has just been the best week ever. The gymnastics is great. We're getting another Narnia movie. The only thing that would make this better is if I just randomly just moved back to the UK this week. That would be great. Kidding. Mostly, sort of, not really at all. Anyways, if you like this, maybe, if you like this, you can follow me on all my social media. All those links will be in the description below. You can subscribe to my main channel for way more polished content than this, I promise you. You can subscribe here where I will talk about things like this and also just whatever is random that I feel like putting up. Maybe I'll do another vlog every day for a month or something like that. But yeah, go Narnia, go Heaven Seas, go Prince Caspian, go all of you. Thank you, C.S. Lewis, for everything that you've given to the world in this series and in all of your other writings as well. And yeah, remember to keep living awesome lives. See you soon. Bye.